You know when you're watching a show or a movie that has stand-up comedy in it and you think to yourself, something feels wrong, something feels off. Movies that involve stand-up comedy in them have to have scenes where the actor is actually doing stand-up comedy in front of an audience. You know, actually feeling like we're watching a live performance instead of knowing that the actor on stage says the lines and the actors in the audience laugh on cue. Cut! Let's take it again! It's a really difficult thing in filmmaking to make a live performance feel like you're watching a live performance. Some TV shows and movies have nailed this, and some don't. So what we're gonna do here is we're going to look at as many TV shows and movies I can think of sitting here on my computer and see if their portrayal of stand-up is accurate or if it's stale. What's that one movie? Jenny Slate abortion movie. Obvious Child. We're gonna look at things like The Big Sick, Obvious Child, the show Louie, Marvelous Miss Maisel, The Joker, Pete Holmes is Crashing. Before we actually react to and dissect each individual thing we're going to talk about today, off the bat, I want to talk about what I think makes or breaks a stand-up scene in a piece of media like TV or film. One of the biggest issues is you are translating a live performance art to the screen. What you lose in that conversion is a lot of the authenticity, the spontaneity. You know, when you're watching stand-up, and especially when you're watching improv, anything can happen and you can feel that in the room. Whereas when you're watching a show that has stand-up in it, or a movie that has stand-up in it, you lose that spontaneity, that air of, you know, realness. You know, trying to act like you're being real in the moment in any scene in any movie is already difficult enough. Now you have an audience full of extras who are acting like they're watching something when they're just actually actors in the audience just sitting there. When are we supposed to laugh? Oh, the script says the audience laughs right here. Okay, that's when I'll laugh. Thank God the script said we're supposed to laugh here. It's kind of like watching The Big Bang Theory. You know, because in sitcoms, they always inject laughter whenever they fucking want, and it gives you the illusion that what you're watching is funny. And sometimes great TV and film writers will write stand-up scenes having never done stand-up in their life, and they will write in the script where they think the audience is supposed to laugh, when these TV and film writers maybe have never done actual stand-up in their life, or they are TV film writers and not stand-up comedians. It is very much like a writer to write where the audience is supposed to laugh, rather than being a stand-up comedian and going on stage and do it, and they laugh when you know they're supposed to. Because they will. You don't have to write laugh here. Sometimes writers write stand-up as if it is witty dialogue, when stand-up isn't just witty dialogue, it's a live performance. What I'm saying is it's two very distinct types of writing styles, and movies and TV shows that have been written by comedians and performed by comedians usually have a lot easier job at coming off authentic than shows that have been written by accredited TV and film writers. One more thing before we get into this. One cliche that I have noticed whenever there is a movie or show about a comedian where the emotional climax happens while the comedian is on stage, they always have that big pivotal moment, that big epiphany, that big climactic moment in the middle of their set. And whenever that happens, it's very emotionally impactful for the audience at home, you watching on a screen. But all I can think of when that's happening is if this was an actual live stand-up performance, and the comedian is just, how did the chicken, How did the chicken, fuck. Guys, I have to, and the audience is just, what the fuck? What the hell is going on right now? What the fuck? The last 3 acts were way funnier than this guy. And is this guy okay? And then the host, the poor host of the show has to come on. Okay, sorry guys, that got a little weird. Give it up for this next guy, he does puppets. I digress, here's the Big Sick.
Because there's a strict hierarchy. It's doctor, engineer, lawyer, hundreds of jobs, ISIS, then comedian.
Woohoo!
Okay, first off, I think that bit that Kumail Nanjiani does is actually in his act. I'm not 100% sure on that, But I feel like he delivers it here much more subdued. It's almost like he knows he's film acting, and I don't know, the performance in this in particular bit doesn't feel like it's as big and performative than it would be if he was actually live on stage in front of an audience of not paid actors.
I'm sorry. It's very rude to heckle comedians.
Oh, that wasn't a heckle. I just kind of woo-hooed for you.
Well, see, that's a common misconception. Heckling doesn't have to be negative.
So if I was like, oh my God, you're amazing in bed, that would be a heckle?
Yeah, and now you're getting more laughs than me, and I don't like that. You want to come up, do my job?
This back and forth is almost like the opposite of what I was saying, where he's like, I gotta go, and it's like almost like a positive spin on the classic cliche I just brought up. However, there's too much dialogue there where there was no... The whole audience is like, oh my God, they're banging. They're so banging. They're absolutely banging.
I want to name my kid Void, so he won't be able to cash any of his paychecks. I'm sorry, sir, this says Void on it. But that's my name! Curse you, father! I work on the second floor of the bank. This fantasy scenario.
Go back to ISIS!
Toast is a really strange food.
What did you just say?
That's the worst heckle. First of all, it's almost like they specifically made this scene in particular to make Kumail seem really bad at stand-up, because he needs to be not confident in this scene. He needs to be, like, meekish and easily heckleable, so that when this guy does give him the world's worst heckle, the world's worst heckle, and Kumail's got no ammo for it, Kumail in real life would have torn that guy to pieces for coming up with the shittiest heckle on earth. Like he copied an 8th grader's homework for that heckle. But again, this is just an example of when the plot of the film is more important than portraying authentic stand-up. It's serving the story that Kumail is not being a good stand-up right now. But it serves the story, so it's fine.
You guys like my singing voice? I just burped into this because I'm an adult woman. I do like being an adult woman. I've always wanted to be that. I've always wanted to have just like a bra and a blouse and a schedule, like where I could just like be in my house and just be like, oh my God, I'm running late, you know, like.
What I like about Obvious Child is I think Jenny Slate absolutely destroys the awkward, like, unprofessional vibe. Jenny Slate is a fantastic comedian, but the way I'm almost unsure if the audience is going to enjoy what's happening, because I'm sitting here going, oh God, is she about to bomb right now? Like, the feeling of, oh my God, she's about to bomb right now is coursing through my veins. I don't know if Jenny Slate had anything to do with the writing of Obvious Child, but obviously she was chosen for the part for a reason. Her natural stand-up abilities really shine through here because she can really dial it up between, oh God, am I about to bomb? And when she actually starts telling jokes that work, me as an audience member, if I was sitting there at that show, I would think that's a good joke. You know, so she's just a master of her craft, Jenny Slate.
I came here tonight on a very different mission, and that is to say to you that, which is to say...
They're doing the thing! They're doing the thing! It happens every time! The big climactic moment. Oh no, the person from my love life came to the show and I lock eyes with them, Spider-Man 2 style. If you are a movie or a show about stand-up, the pivotal climactic moment has to happen on stage in the middle of your set. Oh, I can't wait for it to happen to me one time. Oh my God. I'm going to be in the middle of a show and some long-lost love of mine is going to be in the audience. I'm going to be like, anyway, back to my bit about the Epstein list.
The second thing that I would like to say right now out loud, and I'm gonna say it out loud right now. I'm fine, everything's fine, just rolling along with this out loud right now, is that I am going to have an abortion. Okay, keep breathing. Tomorrow, which is Valentine's Day. So.
Spoiler alert for the movie. Sorry, guys. That's what this movie's about. I have seen a lot of stand-up where people will talk about something that's very, very uncomfortable. I've seen people talk about very, very similar subject matter in a very, very cavalier way. I think if you are going to do stand-up, that is the appropriate way to do that type of material. to do dark stuff as cavalier as you can, unless you want to add a lot of emotional weight, in which case you're kind of doing a one-man show type performance, one-person show type performance, what have you. But that's not what this is. This is a movie. So you can tell that the character here has a lot of emotional stakes in what they are saying, and it does, like, the guy who got her pregnant here, he's like some kind of, goody two-shoes type guy. I gotta rewatch this movie, because I love this movie when I watched it, and I gotta give it a watch. So far, I think the stand-up has been portrayed excellently. It's very realistic that nobody's laughing. This is a very uncomfortable bad set, which means it's very authentic. Very good job, obvious child. All right, everybody, get your fedoras out. We're gonna watch the Joker now.
Hello, it's good to be here.
This happens all the time. This happens. I cannot tell you. Look, open mics are a dangerous game, okay? I cannot tell you how many times I've been at an open mic where there have been some batshit fucking crazy people. Because anybody can get up at an open mic. This is the realest one so far. Bro's got 3 minutes. He is running through his time. This is the most authentic one so far. The people I talk about who are, look, they mean well, they want to do stand-up, they have no aptitude for it, but I encourage everyone to give stand-up a try, okay? I'm no gatekeeper. I will let all jokers into my comedy club, all right? But, good God, I have seen so many people go up on stage and talk about, I'm gonna be a comedian, or I'm a comedian, blah, blah, blah. Like they have to proclaim their desire for the career instead of telling jokes. Like it's the most amateur thing you can do. But the fact that I think the Joker went to a handful of open mics at my home club just to get into the character. So far, the Joker has been the most accurate. Hey, you want to go to an open mic? No. That's what they all look like. All right, now we're going to watch Mrs.Maisel. No, I really, really enjoy Mrs.Maisel as a show. I think I watched up to the first 3 seasons, and then it's just Amazon Prime. It's hard to keep up with Amazon Prime. I'm actually in the background of one of the scenes in season 5. When I was living in New York, I was able to do some background work for Succession and Mrs.Maisel. I haven't seen season 5, so if you can spot me in the temple scene in season 5, where there's I had a yarmulke on. We don't have to get into that. I'm just one of the temple goers in a scene that I think involves the FBI. Spoiler, I don't know. But I always loved Mrs.Maisel as a show. I think the writing is superb. I think the dialogue is super fucking witty and tight. But I've always had a problem with how the stand-up scenes are.
I don't want my own apartment. I don't feel ready mentally to have my own keys, my own plumbing, my own angry Ukrainian super.
Like, the thing about Mrs.Maisel is what I was talking about earlier, about how it feels like very, very good writing, but not very good stand-up material. Like, the stand-up material feels fine, like it's a very, very good writer writing stand-up as somebody who has never ever done stand-up. So it comes across like very, very good dialogue, very, very good screenplay, But doesn't it just feel like the audience knows when they're supposed to laugh because they've rehearsed this several times and they know that in the script it says laugh here, and so they all laugh in unison? It feels like actors portraying what stand-up is supposed to feel like, rather than feeling like I have been transported to a stand-up performance.
I met one potential date and he was perfect husband material. I knew he was, because that's what his wife told me. Yes? No? Kind of an in-betweener. Reject.
I love this scene where okay, this scene's pretty great actually, where she's going through, like, she's got her note cards out and she's going, yeah, is this anything? Is this anything? No? All right, get out. That's huge. That's actually huge.
Complaining. This is big with us. What repressing your emotions is to wasps, complaining is to Jews. It's second nature. But the key is the complaint should never be about big important things, only little things like, it's hot out. This restaurant is so far. The line is so long. Things nobody can do anything about. Remember, you're not trying to fix anything. You're just trying to be heard.
Now, this is probably, I think this is further along into the series where she's really coming to her own as a comedian. She's been doing it a while, so she's getting better at it. I think my complaints about how the stand-up felt existed early on because she was new at stand-up and was already crushing right away. In this scene, she has been doing stand-up for quite some time, and that confidence really shows. That being said, she is doing a lot of material about what it means to be Jewish, and the actress is not Jewish. I know that was a bit of stirring up of some controversy. It did make me feel better playing a temple goer in season 5. All right, now we're going to watch Pete Holmes' Crashing.
Sorry. It's Pete. Yeah.
No, that would not have gotten a laugh. That would not have gotten a laugh. Everyone would have been uncomfortable. Sorry, Pete. I love your stand-up. There's no amount of charm that you can have to make that get a laugh.
There was a mix-up. I'm not Ben Holmes. I'm Pete Holmes, and I mean, there was a whole thing. And John was he was not cool about it. I'm not saying he's a dick. He's not a dick. I'm saying we all have moments where we slip into dick.
Okay, this scene is another egregious example of the audience would not react that way under normal circumstances, but the fact that this is a plot point in a show, the audience is required to behave this way. I think Crashing does an excellent job of getting real comedians, using real comedians' bits, actually having real audiences react to the real comedians' bits. 9 times out of 10, I think Crashing crushes it, but this scene that I could find in particular does not do it well, because that's not Pete Holmes' actual material. That is situational concept stuff that happened during the plot of the show that he has to rehash in front of this audience full of actors. And so while I normally think Crashing does a great job in particular of making the stand-up feel real and authentic, this scene does not. All right, now finally, we're gonna watch this scene from Louie.
I have kids, and after you have kids, you reserve your wishes for your kids. My kids, I love my kids. My daughter told me a joke the other day, and she tells great jokes. They're not like anybody else's jokes. That's why I like them. I've been doing comedy for 25 years. I know every joke. Even if I haven't heard it, you start telling me a joke, I know how it's going to work. But her jokes, I have no idea what's going to happen. I have no idea. This is the joke she told me the other day. She said, who didn't let the gorilla into the ballet? Who didn't let the gorilla into the ballet? Already, I love this joke. I love this joke. I have not heard this joke. This is a new joke for me. Who didn't let the gorilla into the ballet? And I said, who? And she said, just the people who were in charge of that decision.
I think the show Louie does the best job of blending pivotal plot points with actually Louie doing what would be his actual stand-up. There's some episodes of Louie where in between scenes he will do actual stand-up, which I'm pretty sure they just film him doing sets at the Comedy Store, which again is the most authentic thing you can do. It's actual stand-up, just point the cameras. It's like a little tiny mini stand-up special that he inserts within the show. Now, I think he's doing what Seinfeld did a little bit, but making it feel so much more real. You know, Seinfeld would be like him just doing his thing in between scenes. He's got that same backdrop, that same audience. I don't really know a lot about how Seinfeld filmed those stand-up scenes. But with Louie, it looks like he's taking that model, but making it like really doing that 2000s gritty realism thing that was super, super popular, but taking it into the stand-up world. Now, the scenes that are meant to feel like bad and shitty, feel bad and shitty. You like that one exchange he has with a heckler in that one episode. You're kind of sitting there going, oh my God, this is really uncomfortable to watch. But when he's doing stand-up and it's his stand-up and he's doing it in front of an audience, that's a real audience who's actually there watching Louie do an actual bit. So I think the blending of what is most necessary for the plot while also portraying real authentic stand-up is done exceptionally well in Louie. All right, now I know I didn't probably cover every single TV show or film that has stand-up in it. So if you can think of any other shows or movies that have stand-up in it, please leave them in the comments down below. Also, what else do you want to see from the channel, whether it's stand-up related or not? Please leave that in the comments down below. I have been looking for regular work for quite some time to no avail, so I'm putting my whole ass bussy into YouTube right now. So let me know what you want to see, and I will do it. Remember to like and subscribe, all that jazz, and I appreciate you.